I'm correct with all this. So yeah, Diddy has been charged, I think, of 6 different counts. Forgive me if I'm mistaken. If I'm wrong, or producer, anybody got it, let me know. I think it's sex trafficking, domestic violence, fraud, I won't say solicitation.
And I think they try to get him with racketeering.
No, he got a RICO case too. He got a RICO. He's on a RICO.
With RICO too.
He's on RICO. Yep, he's on RICO. That's 5. I'm missing one more too though. But yeah, he's fighting 6 different charges. Pretty much the highlight of this week was, Cassie has been on the stand. The U.S. attorney, she's already talked with her, and the defense have already talked with her at I think that end of point of this week. They got from what it looks like, the defense stand is yeah, he's a piece of crap, he beat on her and all that, but is that really sex trafficking? I mean, it's been a lot of mixed I would say mixed reviews, honestly. It's really like 85% that I've seen where it's like, she chose to do this. Woo, it is what it is. And so I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. They've been kind of dancing around it, but I think on this show we're gonna pick where we stand on this. Like, I feel like we need to go ahead and pick where we stand on this. Let's talk about it. I will say we'll warrant and say this is Realspill 601. I think I'm very confident in saying that all of us, and speaking for everyone, nobody approves. Okay, you know where I'm going. Nobody on Realspill 601 representing it, even the people that's not even on the camera. We do not approve of abuse. It is not something that none of us are doing, and I hope for that to not be the case. But yeah, none of us are with that. None of us stand with abuse. Clearly, those videos that you've seen are disgusting. We don't, none of us. I feel very strongly in saying that none of us supports that at all. But yeah, man, let's get into it. What do we think in terms of this Diddy case right now? Do we feel like, well, really right now? I guess what it is right now is this really sex trafficking? Is this is this really that right now? 'Cause that's really what they're hitting at right now, though. Is this that? Like, a lot of people saying, yeah, he got domestic violence, but he shouldn't be going to jail for life for domestic violence. Is what a lot of people are saying.
Right.
And
right.
So for real. And so yeah. So I mean, let's get into it, guys. How we feel?
Well, first off, I want to just piggyback on what Young just said. I 1,000% agree with him. I am not condoning any type of abuse or domestic violence at all. Okay. Now, when it comes to the fact that are we going to arrest P. Diddy for all the claims that they have when it really looked like it was just domestic violence and put him away in jail for life? No, I don't. I'm going to be honest. I don't agree with it. And the simple fact for that is because even the one thing that I feel like a lot of people can kind of say, okay, P. Diddy, you were dead ass wrong, is when you look at the video and you see from beginning to end the 15-minute video that they have where he comes out of his room, he's walking down, he sees Cassie, he fucking, I'm talking about mollywopped her, then dragged her, walked off, came back. Cassie's sitting down in the corner. He grabs a pot vase and throws it at her. That right there, unacceptable. He needs to do jail time for that. Okay? 100% agree with that. Now, when we talk about the other aspect, when we talk about freak offs and what all Cassie consented to, I'm going to be real with you. I think some of the stuff that was coming out before court were kind of lies, if you ask me. because now that they're making Cassie read the messages that he sent, but also what she sent to him, she can't really put a lot of stuff on him if you're consenting to it. Like if you look, what day this was, and just give me 1 second while I just look up exactly what she said.
But yeah, they had. I think the defense is the ones that it's the defense that's making her read those text messages.
The defense are making her read the text messages.
The feds are not.
This is the perfect text message. Perfect text message. Diddy text Cassie in 2009. When do you want to freak off? LOL. Guess what her response was? I'm always ready to freak off. That's all I need to know.
I think it's two different things, though.
No, it's not. How is it two different things? She consented to the freak off, straight lace. She consented to it now. She literally texts, I'm always down. I don't care what.
I don't think it's the freak off that everybody else talking about. I think it's just them getting to it.
But the thing is they're trying to get P. Diddy.
What the defense is basically trying to portray is they trying to say that pretty much she consented to all of this. It wasn't as if she was doing. Yes, they were on some real nasty type shit. He is a nasty nigga, but this was all what the defense is trying to portray is that this is what's consensual.
Exactly.
That's what the defense is trying to say.
But this is the other thing. The prosecution are trying to get P. Diddy for having freak offs with multiple people, having to do all type of crazy stuff. This, that, the third. And
now they got it for the prostitution. They got him. Like the people they even Cassie admitted that she was making the phone calls and reaching out to pay for the prostitute. So he's gonna get charged for that. That violence, he's gonna get charged. Those are, but they're admitted to that. It's more of with the part on Cassie is the sex trafficking,
yes,
the rape, stuff like that. That's where I think is what they're, because that is where the point where it can take them to life. You know what I'm saying?
This is what I want you to understand. Once you send that text message, that's all the proof people need. If you send a text message saying that I always want to do this, and then go to court and say, hey, this is not what I wanted to do, but you sent a text message saying I always wanted to do it. What is there that you want the judge to think? Do y'all understand where I'm coming from on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what you're saying.
Because, I mean, cool. P. Diddy might have had you doing a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you have a choice and you can say no. And I'm not saying on this particular message where he asked Cassie, when do you want to freak off? And she said, I'm always ready to freak off. But there are also messages where P. Diddy is like, are you sure you want to do this or da-da-da? Or this, that, the third, and she's kind of like, no, I want to do this. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. No, let me just look at I'm trying to find more messages. Give me 1 second. But anyway, you can go. If you look through all of the what's the word I'm looking for, you know? When you look at the paper documents of everything, what is it? The type person for the court. If you look at all the documents that they're asking and the questions that the defense is asking Cassie, there are sometimes when they're asking her to read the messages, and Diddy is like, "Hey, you sure you want to do this? If not, it's cool." And she's like, "No, I want to do this." Okay. So regardless if she, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go into detail of what all she was doing, but we kind of, all three of us have a full understanding that it was a lot more than the average person will do, right? She consented to it, okay? That's what I'm trying to get across, and that I feel that even though P. Diddy may have a couple other people other than Cassie that he had a complete control over, that he didn't have to text every day, that he may have had through sex trafficking or prostitution. Who knows? I'm not sure what happened. But as far as with P. Diddy and from them bringing that one witness that they have to bring concrete proof to put P. Diddy in jail?
Now we don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, and it may be, but I believe they'll have other witnesses attached to this. But I think right now, just week one, they went and pushed out Cassie. But that does raise the eyebrow, because you would think that Cassie is really the biggest point for the case, and for her to be brought out so early is a little, eyebrow raising. But at the same time, it's on one side they're saying that the prosecution team has an ace up their sleeve that they haven't that they're going to use later on. But for the defense, Cassie is extremely important. So, like with those examples, those text messages and things like that, she's extremely important for them to show that there was, this wasn't a forceful thing. She decided to stay. She received money during that tenure. She stayed for a long tenure, if you want to say that. And their position is she reaped the benefits, and then when it went haywire, she decided to go left, is what they're trying to portray.
Exactly. Yeah, and I 100% agree with the defense on that one. I'm gonna be real with you. I 100% agree. I think that there were some things that happened before this case started that kind of, you know what I'm saying? It could have went either way, and she might have won that battle. She didn't win the war, but she won a battle. That $20 million was a battle in the war. But this is the war completely. You know what I'm saying? So, and the other thing is that as far as my knowledge goes, I only know Cassie is really the only true person that has come out fully and said that Diddy was doing this, that, and that, and that to this person.
I forgot they got somebody else.
It's another lady.
They're going as a Jane Doe, though. They're going as a Jane Doe. Like, they get to hide.
But look, not even a Jane Doe. It's another person that I think was friends with Cassie. I'm not sure what her name was, but she is accused, or she's saying that she witnessed P. Diddy physically abusing Cassie.
Yeah, that's a Jane Doe. That's a Jane Doe.
No, but I think
it's all on camera that she did that.
Look, no, the person's name is out. The person's name is out. It's a dark-skinned lady. I can't remember her name right now, but they have that person's name out, and she's saying that she witnessed Diddy abusing Cassie. Now, like I said, domestic violence, you can for sure 1,000% get P. Diddy for domestic violence and physical abuse.
Right.
Okay. Right. I'm not saying that I'm cool with what Diddy's doing. All right.
No, for real. Let's make sure.
Understand this.
Let's make sure we got to understand.
Cool with Diddy doing any of this. All right. But if Cassie is consenting to doing freak-offs and she knows what's going on in these freak-offs, there is nothing you can put against him if you said I'm cool with it. So that means all the UTIs, all the drugs you took, you wanted to do that. No, let's talk about it now. No, let's talk about it. Because
hold on, Phil. Okay, so Phil, we get where you kind of stand. Let's before we go back in and we all can delve into it. Let's go ahead and kind of how you feel about it and everything.
They both sick at the end of the day. They both are sick. Diddy's gonna get locked up like R. Kelly. Just to be real. I don't condone no abuse. I don't condone sex trafficking, none of that. But we all know when the rabbit got the gun, he got the gun. And when the feds and the government get on your ass and get to getting notations and finding people and getting all the documentation that they need, it's over. It's over. It's you better pray to the good man above, because Diddy's getting locked up. I can't see him putting a young boy and getting off scot-free. You know. Cassie's sick too. She should get locked up too. This simple as that. Like Phil said that she considered on it, yes, but she played a role too. Bribement. She's taking money. She's enjoying the festivities that's going on, and she was supposed to keep her mouth shut, and she did not get to keep her mouth shut. She's telling it all. She's gonna tell it all. It's gonna be more people telling it all. We're seeing these untold documentaries on TV, and all these people coming out saying this, that, and the third about Diddy. Diddy been sick. This is be real. He been sick. He been holding back stuff since Biggie. He been holding stuff back since Biggie and Pop. Like, it's a lot of stuff on Diddy that's coming to light. You know, that he can't keep his nose clean, and it's gonna be more celebrities to get this judgment too. That people gonna be like, that was at these freakos as well, sickos. You know, some of the stuff that I was reading is pure sick. Just the baby's baby oil alone when they did the riot in his house is sick. What you do with all that baby oil?
Well, I think I do feel that I think that we all agree. I think we all can say we agree that a lot of the stuff that was transpiring is destined and sick. Like, I think we all know that. It's really, I guess, really what I want to is, I think you already stated it, was just kind of your point of what the case is. Do you feel like the charges so far, do you think they're correct, or do you think some of the charges?
It's gonna be more charges. It ain't just gonna be that.
Now, maybe, and if somebody has a chance to look it up, some of those charges like sex trafficking, I do want to read that. And I might look it up in a minute. But from the last time I heard about it, it is kind of broad, and it even though in my opinion, I think the prosecution team is somewhat not fully displaying this correctly. With the way that the law states it, I think it's not too hard to go ahead and still hit them with that. But I'll go ahead and real quick, I do want to kind of give my opinion. Okay, real quick though, I'll go ahead and kind of just give my opinion with how I feel in the case. Yes, I can see where people can portray this as, okay, yeah, she reaped the benefit. She stayed in the home. She got the glitz and the glamour, the superstar lifestyle, all of that. But what I will say is, I think we're unfairly looking at it in a lens that a lot of people probably can't say that they've been put in those shoes. Let's just keep it a beam. What he did was just honestly, like, he took it old school. He made it old school pimp. That's just really what it is. It was old school. Cassie may have agreed to come in at the beginning, but I don't think she foresaw, and I find it hard to believe that she foresaw it turning like this. I don't think she saw it being where she's getting beat to sleep, urinated, all of that type of stuff. And even with the text messages, what I think, when someone is getting physically and mentally abused on the regular, it's not easy to walk away. No matter how easy for us to say that outside of those lenses, it's not easy for it to walk away. And I think my connection messing up. But what I will say is on this though is, one, if you look at the studies, it takes someone that's being abused multiple times, multiple tries of leaving before they actually are able to fully leave that person. The first time is the highest rate in which that person may come back. And so that's where I'm coming at, where I'm saying we can't say, oh, she was just reaping the benefits. If she wanted to leave, she would have left, 7-8 years ago. When you've broken someone down mentally, physically, spiritually, all of that, pretty much he broke her all the way in a way that he wanted to build her up to. And in that form, it's not easy for her to walk away from that, because one, no matter what people say, I feel like you can feel like your life is in danger. This man, we saw the videos where he beat this girl to sleep. And to me, I feel like that's my pushback with everybody saying she feels that, okay, I can leave whenever. I'm really just kind of taking the bread, taking the fame that come with it. I just don't find it to be true. Then with the manipulation tactics, coercion, that's what that is, coercion. When he was, threatening with the album, obviously she never put out any more music after that. To whatever people may say when they say she wasn't that was never going to be the plan anyway. I feel that she had the anticipation that she was going to be able to find a way for him to help her put more music out. And he used that and dangled that over her head as one of his manipulation tactics for her to do some certain acts. And I'm pretty sure that's right on the line of the definition of coercion. So that's coercion. We obviously hit with the domestic violence and the prostitution. He's getting hit with that regardless. But I just my pushback is we can't say it's easy for someone to leave if we not no lens. And even a lot of people that's been in abusive relationships have probably not been into that a relationship in that extent. Where it's that much money involved, that much status involved, and that many people involved. That's where my pushback is with it. So I disagree when people say they feel like, honestly, she's reaping the benefits, and when it went left is when she decided to go ahead and take the stand. Now I will say though for all men, because honestly, I think over the last couple of months we've seen successful men, regardless did it or not did it, and we're gonna be hitting a couple other different topics of today about it. You got to be careful, man. You got to be careful. You got to be careful with what you're doing, how you're moving. This ain't the old. It's not old school no more. It's not old school.
Man, yeah, it's a lot of old school people thinking that old school system.
That
still
old
working.
school. That old school. It's over with. You can't do that no more. A lot of things that guys were doing back in that old school, you cannot do it no more. I'm sorry, guys. It just can't do it no more. And I think that's what's catching a couple of these guys is they still think they can move it like it's old school.
They still thinking pimping is real.
Yeah.
Pimping and old school.
Honestly, pimping is never gonna die. I'm gonna say that. But the old school way, I'm being dead serious. But the old school ways of how that looks, certain things you can't do no more. It's just you can't. And that's just kind of how I'm looking at it.
Check this out. If you want to do old school type shit, your ass going to do the time. Simple as that. These people, these women are telling now. They're not dealing with this old school shit no more. They're not going to daddy. They're not going to uncle. They're not going to cousin. They're going to the laws. And if they can't get out of the situation, they're gonna wait till they get out of work and they pressing charges on your ass, and you're gonna get some hot clips, metal on your wrist.
What you had something that you wanted to put in, Phil?
Well, I'm gonna just kind of, because you made a couple statements that I agree with, but that I also feel like I have to disagree with. As far as like the old school, I feel like when it was old school, the women that was dealing with the old school guys, they knew what they were getting themselves into, and also I want you to know the key word: it was their choice. And it
okay,
they couldn't go nowhere.
But hold on, but listen. But hold on.
Let me finish real quick. Just let me finish real quick.
Go ahead.
Time out.
Go ahead.
Because we got a little group message where we sent some of that old school clips in. They knew 100% what they were getting into before that relationship. You knew exactly.
I disagree. I completely disagree.
Oh man.
No, Phil, hold on. No, hold on. Let me go and respond to that real quick. One, even on the clips, and I really don't want to get into our own personal group message, but even in those clips, that is a classic example. Sometimes they don't even know. They've been put on into this facade.
You better not know.
They get put on to this facade where they don't know what bro is on, and then later on he showed it. But then I think if we look at it, I think those are the same two people on those both of those clips.
The second clip, she knew, young.
So she knew, and if you look at that second clip, she knew one no leaving.
But look,
I'm saying though, it's easy to say that. It's easy to say I'm gonna choose to stay. It's easy to say that. But no, it's not.
Okay, I know it's easy to say that, but also she knew, man. You can't say nothing crazy like that around this. You know what I'm saying? Don't do nothing that's gonna, especially when you know what you're getting yourself into. Don't do no dumb stuff. Now that I said that, I just want to say
this is what I say. Back to what I said though. If you remember what I said when I said yes, she may have possibly chose that at the beginning, and she may knew a little bit of what came along with that. Like, and I don't know, but I mean, for all we know, she in her mind she thought maybe okay, a couple of threesomes here and there, maybe some drugs, all that cool. But I highly doubt she thought that this was gonna come with her getting her ass beat, seeing multiple men where he's not even in the room. You know, those are something we've seen. Her leaving with ulcers and UTIs. I don't think she foresaw that being the experience. And I think when it got to that point,
saw that bread.
And that's why I like coercion. That's what that is. That money, and that's what that leads to. Money or anything of that nature, where you're using that to continue to have certain people for someone, that is coercion. You're coercing her, but you're saying, hey, I got this $20 million. Hey, if you do this, you'll get this $20 million. If you don't, I'm cutting you off. That's coercion, guys.
But look, what if she want to do it?
She can still say she want to do it at that point, but in her mind, she may not want to. If you get,
I understand,
if your life is threatened, and you feel like if I tell this person no, I may lose my life, you're gonna probably 8, 9 out of 10 are gonna say yes, and especially, and I think we also look at it in the eyes of as a male. You look at it as a female, where she's wearing a man where obviously physically there's no contest, ain't no getting over, ain't no get back. It's no contest physically, so she gotta kind of be a law-abiding citizen.
But yeah, this is what I want you to understand. And honestly, if I'm being honest, you really right. But you said 2 words that really clicked on why I don't think it will work in court. Is that mentally she knew what she wanted, but physically, and even when she using that phone and Diddy asking her, "You sure you want to do this?" She's texting yes. That's what they're going off, the proof that they have, the concrete proof.
In situations like that, the female's always right, man.
I'm gonna pull up the definition of a sex trafficking real quick. Lacey, if you said you had something, go ahead.
I know what sex trafficking is.
In situations like that,
we've had those conversations, but
multiple.
So sex trafficking charge typically involves compelling a person to engage in commercial sex acts through force, fraud, or coercion. If the victim is under 18, is considered sex trafficking, regardless of whether force, fraud, or coercion. That was not the case. So here are a couple of key aspects. The Commercial Sex Act. The Commercial Sex Act is the act must have exchange of money or other valuable consideration for sexual activity. Now this is that's what it is verbatim. Now it can be now what a lot of people have been pushed back and they saying everybody do that. They saying everybody fly these girls out, everybody do that. They may give them a bag or something afterwards. Like not afterwards. But I mean now if you come in and you telling her I got you $25,000, you fly out here, that's a sex act then. That's definitely sex trafficking at that. But it's something else I want to say. So and so for adults, the state must prove that the victim was compelled to engage in the sex act through these means. Yes, well, that's pretty much it. But see, that's where I think they can get them because that's very broad. That's very broad.
It is. It's very broad, but at the same time,
good.
I feel like at the same time, like. You know how people say you treading that line. Right. I think it was one of them things where it may have been, and we don't. And like I said, I want y'all to understand. I do 1,000% do not agree with what Diddy has done. Okay, so I understand that. Now, we just talk about the case in general. I think that there were moments where it was a tread that line, but at the same time, I feel that Cassie was 100% in her heart wanted to do some of that. She didn't care as long as she was with Diddy. I don't even think it was about the money. I think she truly and genuinely wanted to be with Diddy. And so some of the things she did was because she could only, if she didn't do it, she couldn't stay with Diddy. Not because of the money, but because of Diddy as a person.
So to me, that sounds like brainwashed and coerced. Just to me.
Brainwash the show. Brainwash the show.
What that sounds like to me.
Brainwash the show.
Brainwash? Okay, cool, but you can't use brainwash in court.
Yes, you can. You can say that mentally he broke her down. He used of mental abuse to where it got to the point where she clung to him. That you can present in court. It's just the way that you present it.
Look. Let me tell you when that mental abuse started. When did they break up? What was it? 2018?
I'm not familiar with that.
No, it had to have been 2018 because the video where he beat Cassie was 2016. In 2018, like that 2016, maybe even 2015 to 2018 period, that's when it started to hit her like, or she started to come to her senses like, I'm a grown woman. I have my rights. I know what I want, and I deserve this. But it was too late.
So is that not proving the point that all this was done through you know what I'm saying? Like this does not show that this was not her choice. This was more of a I'm trying to do this for the safety of my life, my well-being. I'm not gonna say I can't say that it's for the money. I'm not saying that it's for the money. I think
you think she was in love with Diddy?
Yes.
I'm not even gonna say that. I mean, she may have, but honestly though, she may have at that may have thought she loved him. But we all know there's been times where you think you love somebody, but you realize that really wasn't love. That really doesn't change anything for me though in terms of what he's being charged for. Like cheating or not, that really don't change. I mean, that can be a part of it maybe, but
they both were cheating.
Like, do I feel like that at the beginning, you know, Cassie may have been a little involved in some of this stuff by her own fruition? Possibly. I just think that as it got longer down the road was when it like, okay, whoa, like maybe and I'm not trying to be triggering, maybe the first time he really got into her physically, that may have gotten to the point where it was like, okay, whoa, this dude may really like, what have I gotten myself into? And so, yes, maybe at the beginning that may have been her choice at the beginning, but to sit up here and act like later down the line, though, like with them text messages, she was choosing, she wanted it.